My friends, it is your friend, CryptoFace. And today, I am holding back my emotional excitement to officially show you guys the Lords of Light from Raini Studios. And we have a good few points to talk about. A few months ago, I told everyone on Twitter that I was buying a bunch of these tokens, in contact with the ownership. The quest and mission for gaming, not just in crypto, but gaming as a whole is more important now than ever. The more technology we have in this day and age somehow hasn't equated to good games. Really, gaming is just filled with letdowns, especially in crypto. And if someone does come up with something good, nobody knows about it. So today, we're going to focus on something I'm very proud to be a token holder of. Token is RST, and that is Raini Studios. And this is just one of their games that they have lined up. This one is on the Epic Games application. It's free to play. And we're just kind of start from the top. So the first thing I want to mention is the most important thing that I believe with any company or any business. And that is the people who are behind the scenes, the ownership, management, the people. Okay? Little history lesson. Raini Studios was a company that, made this game. And they were recently acquired and bought out by this gentleman. This is Icebags. He's the Kenpai Panda guy. He's all over the UFC. Nothing but good things to say about this guy. He's got the Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to gold. Okay. He purchased Raini Studios. And again, this company made the Lords of Light. But really no one, I didn't know about it. They had basically no users. And long story short, they found this company. Apparently they had good coding and everything and picked it up. So there's a couple people I want to introduce you guys to. Number one, again, here's Icebags. This is Alex Moody, CEO of I believe it's the Seedon Network. Sorry, Alex, if I got that wrong. This is the legend, Mike Haller. He is now the new head of development or head of gaming. He's the head honcho at Raini Studios. Those of you who don't know, he was the Medal of Honor dude. I'm pretty sure that was the team that eventually went on to create Call of Duty. He's made a bunch of fighting games that got Fighting Game of the Year, probably even the Century. Bunch of wrestling games. I don't know who this guy is. I'm gonna guess he's like a developer. Looks like a guy that we want on the team. Okay. So those are the dudes at the top. Now, I had a interview with Alex Moody, and I'm gonna play a couple little tidbits of that interview. This game we're actually watching right now is a game I just played, and this is the second match we're going against each other. The first match, he had me on my heels. I was able to get the job done. And in this match, our rematch, I was able to get the job done again. But by the way, the graphics, I apologize, are a little fuzzy just because it's recorded in 720p. The game is amazing looking. The art is beautiful. They are constantly adding to it. It's not the game is done and we're forgetting about it. You know what I'm saying? So it is a work in progress. So what is the goal of Raini Studios? Who is Raini Studios? Alex Moody, can you answer that question for us? Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Raini Studios it's a Web3 game developer, so our main goal is to make kick-ass games. Period.
All right.
Full stop.
I'm sorry, Alex. Can we hear that one more time?
Yeah, I mean, Raini Studios it's a Web3 game developer, so our main goal is to make kick-ass games. Period.
All right.
Full stop. The Lords of Light is an extremely successful game. We relaunched the tokenomics, or we readjusted the tokenomics. We launched the RST storefront on February 8th, and we did over $250,000 in sales in the month of February so far.
Okay, I wanted to pause it real quick. So this game was basically dead, and they did $250,000 in sales. But now we introduce the crypto aspect. And you know what, Mr. Moody, can you do, by playing this Lords of Light game, do we get a piece of the action at all, Mr. Alex Moody?
On February 8th, and we did over $250,000 in sales in the month of February so far. And the beautiful part about that is 10% of that goes directly back to the players in the monthly player rewards. This month's player rewards, February, it's over $250,000 our players are earning for play and earn and their storefront, share and so forth.
Okay, so they did 250,000 in sales, but that's not just 25,000. There's been $250,000 itself that has been spread to the Lords of Light players. Now, this game, it's still early, and there's still not that many players. And so I'm going to pause super quick. We're going to open the Lords of Light, and I'm going to show you kind of an idea of how many players there are. Because, you know what? Give me 1 second. I'm just going to show you guys better than I can tell you. All right, here we go, baby. Sorry, my volume was a little weird right there. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. If you're just starting, I like the red deck. Some people say the pink deck's OP, but one of my brothers, who has been a legendary legendary Hearthstone player for 63 months in a row, he uses the blue deck. So I'm gonna check that out. Okay, so check this out. I, in this season, am rank 188. Okay, and I just started. Now, you're able to connect your MetaMask and stuff, and even if there's actually a tournament this month on March. I'm sorry I'm jumping around the place, but I can't help it. This gets me legitimately excited. Okay, so I am going to put the link to this Twitter post in the description below. So this month, another 50 grand is up for grabs. And there's a link here. Boom. This link right here. Here, let me turn off dark mode. Boom. You're able to connect your actual MetaMask to it, and you could lose every single game you play, but still earn RST tokens. Okay. Now, how's the RST token been performing, you might ask? Oh my God, Jesus Christ. It's been kicking ass. Now, here's the advantage about potentially, well, let me say this. Here's why I believe purchasing RST tokens for my own self is an advantage for me and nobody else. RST is not on a main exchange yet. And from what I hear, it could be very soon, like a Bybit or Coinbase or some random exchange, right? And getting these tokens in these projects can kind of be a little difficult at first, but if you're the one that takes the step and does it, that's a barrier to entry. That's maybe 1 out of 100 people, or 1 out of a bunch probably actually go through and do that. Again, I have a purchase amount every single month for the next 12 months. I'm not a dumper myself. But if you want to buy, you can sell, buy and sell, whatever you want. So it's been doing pretty darn good recently. I got in early, price came down a little bit, and it's just been on a tear lately. And even against the Ethereum pair, Ethereum's been kicking ass. RST's still been doing amazing. So as far as charting goes, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Obviously, money flow is at an all-time high. And man, it just doesn't look like it's stopping. The RSIs, everything looks great chart-wise from the data that the time that we've had to collect the data. Looks great. So my original point was, even by just playing maybe like 6 or 7 games, I'm rank 188 for this season. There's only a few hundred people that are actively playing right now this season. Yet the prize pool is bigger than a lot of AAA games out there right now. I don't know of too many other games that are doing 50,000 here, 200,000 there. So for you guys that, I know a couple of you guys out there that have some of those Thailand or Bangkok farms. We got a bunch of little Asians playing the game to earn. You might want to check this out. If you think you're a good Hearthstone player, last time I checked, Hearthstone doesn't pay you shit. So, to be honest, this game's graphics, they're constantly adding cards. If you are a Hearthstone player, you should be playing this game instead, because you're actually going to get tokens back whether you win or lose. From what I've seen, they have tournaments every single month and always adding new cards. So, I mean, this can do it. Like, this is the real deal. And I got to pull myself back a little bit. I know I've jumped around a little bit. This is rare form for me, but I'm a believer. I'm a believer in not just the Lords of Light, but Raini Studios. I'm a believer in the people that are managing and behind it. Ice Bags, Alex Moody, Mike Haller, the guy that looks like he would be a great dev. All right, so let's jump back into a little bit of play action here. I love the idea of having like the burning and staking. It's just like a better Hearthstone with a crypto twist, and really, and that's even underselling it. What this is really doing is Tokenomics. RST has a real utility. If you've ever played World of Warcraft, watch me drop this Elon card. Okay, watch this. Oh, I don't do it yet. Okay, maybe it's next turn. If you've ever played World of Warcraft or so many other games that have auction house, gold buying and item buying and selling, Diablo, they have a real economy there. And I mean, I really can't think of a better utility in crypto besides being able to send money back and forth without like a middleman, peer-to-peer. That's number one. Number two would be this peer-to-peer in-game utility. I mean, the more people that play, the more uses when you're buying packs or when you're getting paid out in rewards. We're talking about having real utility in a crypto, and that's most cryptos that come up with a quote-unquote utility. It's some weird kind of schemy thing. It's not even a real utility. But RST handles that. I'm pretty sure I'm about to drop this Elon on this dude. Come on, man. What was that thing? Okay, I burned this card. Boom. There it is. Okay, check this out. I'm about to drop a bomb on this dude. Yeah, got rid of his cards. Boom. Got rid of that. And now, boom. 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 That was fucking awesome. Again, the graphics, since it's recording at 720p, I don't know why this watermark's here. I paid these damn guys. The game looks amazing. The art is beautiful. They're adding new cards, airdrop type stuff every single month. And I just, man, you can actually really make some real money here. And it's still early. It's early to get in on this. So again, I just have nothing but good things to say. I'm acquiring tokens every single month. And this is just one game that is playable right now. In fact, maybe Alex Moody can answer some questions for us on games coming in the future. Alex?
Into a company that's generating net revenue in the multiple millions annually already, and we've barely gotten started. Okay. So then we just announced our second title, which has been well under production for a while. It's actually coming out this year. In a few months, we'll be launching the full gameplay at GDC in March, and then just a month or two later, the game will actually go live. It's called Lucha Throwdown, and it's really geared towards a Web 2 audience. So our goal here is to onboard. There's over 100 million global fans of lucha wrestling and wrestling worldwide. There's 1.5 billion fans of followers for the WWE, and this is the cultural. An entertainment franchise that's culturally significant to Latin America, even recognized as such by the Mexican government.
Okay, so Alex just and this was already dropped on Raini Studios Twitter and everything. Their next game that they announced is a wrestling game called Lucha Throwdown. Now, Mike Haller, who I showed you guys earlier, the Medal of Honor OG, also created the WWE video games. And there's actually a pretty cool story. Alex actually, I think, maybe tells it in this interview. To be honest, I should just play this damn interview. I should just play the rest of this interview. But Mike Haller, there's this cool story about how Mike Haller made this game, and the Electronic Arts guys were like, who the hell is, like, what the heck? This guy made this game. They got the contract and basically went out and said, we got to hire this guy, pay him whatever he wants, you know? I think I'm just going to let this interview play because we're talking to head honcho CEO right here, and this guy knows what he's talking about. So for the rest of this video, I'm gonna let Alex Moody talk, and we're gonna sit here and listen.
And so it's the second largest entertainment IP behind soccer in all of Latin America. So what we're doing is we're looking to onboard an 8-figure install base into our ecosystem through Lucha Throwdown via Steam, other platforms, the Nintendo Switch and consoles, mobile, those types of traditional direct-to-consumer high install base platforms.
Another thing I want to interject here. They already have the connections. They're already on. They're on the Epic Games application. All these other like Web3 little game advertisements that I see, it's like, okay, maybe that's cool, but they don't have the marketing, they don't have the onboarding, they don't have the Alex Moody, they don't have the Steam, they don't have the Ike's Pack, they don't have the Mike Holler, they don't have all this shit, they don't have anything, and so you can't just, making a good game is hard enough as it is, but you need all the other pieces too. And man, these guys got the pieces. Back to Alex.
And then we'll onboard those people into Web3 via our ecosystem. So direct marketing to our own consumers about other games and other ecosystem participation. So if you think about that, let's say we're able to onboard 8 figures. Let's just call it 10 million install base with a million, kind of players, right. Which is just an average game, by the way. In Web3, that's killer. But in the real industry, that's it. Those numbers are just average.
A million people download the game or playing the game.
A million people downloading a game. A 500,000 download on a AAA game is a failure.
Right.
It actually loses money. So you think about that. You can't. You need a million players just to call it a success. In the traditional publishing channels, Web3 is a totally different ball game where 1,000 users is success.
Right.
That's not the arena we want to be competing in.
That's right. We're here with the big boys and the head honchos. That's how any crypto game is going to be successful. And I think what he talks about next is smoothing the transition between crypto and your average person when they can just like click a button or something. I could be wrong, but let's
we're
listen.
Going after this install base. Let's say we do make it. We get a 500 even if it's a flop, we get 500,000 to a million installs, and we're able to convert 1% of those people over to Web3. What kind of numbers are those? What if we can convert 10%?
When you say convert to Web3, what is that? Yeah, what does that kind of mean?
Onboard them into wallets. So using account abstraction, we build on Beam. And we use companies like Hyperplay as partners who have account abstraction through MetaMask, and so you can create Web3 wallets for people that don't like ever get keys. They don't sign up for anything. They never click sign. They don't have to do any of that shit. And you can kind of quietly and passively onboard them into Web3 ownership of their game assets without ever introducing them to blockchain at all.
Okay, this is huge. This is huge. And the process to connecting the Lords of Light, I'm talking about as of now, the process to connecting my MetaMask to the Lords of Light was super, super easy. Again, the link, the Twitter link for the post with the link is going to be in the description. I click the link. I click the button that says connect. I connected, and boom, I am now getting paid RST tokens, whether I'm great at the game or I'm trash.
Okay. And then if they choose to get deeper into things, then they find that and explore that on their own.
Yeah, that's like super important right now. That's like the main kind of gate to crypto that needs to be passed. It's like just as a side note, this guy really made it easy to interview. He seems to know his stuff, and he mentions he play World of Warcraft. This dude is a gamer, and we got Mike Haller. Like, man, I just feel like this is a blend of the OGs that are wise and have done it before with the generation of us like 30, 40-year-olds that are dying for decent games. And man, if we can make a buck and it's in crypto and everything, man. Views and ease of signing up. I mean, I've been in crypto for a long time, and I really don't like signing up with MetaMask applications. You don't really know who to trust. You don't want to get everything stolen and whatnot. And like the ease of, God, it was someone on like CNBC from like Chase Bank said you gotta like.
You don't give a shit.
Yeah, you don't really care.
You
just want it to be there.
Blockchain's the same thing, right? It's just a technology layer. You don't need to know what it is unless you want to. All it does is add value to the user because they can offboard their assets, their game assets out of the game. Okay. But from the context of gameplay, it's meaningless. Blockchain shouldn't be visible inside your game.
Sure. Amazing point. This was an amazing point. Everything this guy is saying during this call, I've totally agreed with. And I don't know about you, but I've totally feel the same way. There's got to be a balance. Like, we don't need to blockchain everything, but the good parts about the blockchain and the utility tokens, use those and don't force feed us with shit that we don't want or that we don't need. Okay, So next, I ask Alex about the head of gaming, the new golden star, well, not child, I was going to say the golden child, the golden man, Mike Haller. Who's Mike Haller? Where does he come from? Alex is going to tell us.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Head of gaming for my co-founder at Seedon, and the head of gaming at Seedon and now at Raini Studios as well is Michael Haller, the absolute legend in from the game industry. Mike started his career by he brought Akira and Ghost in the Shell to the Western audience. He wrote the English versions of both of those animes.
I didn't know the Ghost in Shell part. Okay.
Pretty crazy, right? I mean, this guy's
Ghost in Shell. I didn't know Mike Haller did Ghost in Shell. That is like that. You're talking international insane shit right there. Okay. And remember, I know this video has been kind of long, but we're talking Rainy Studios RSD token. You got to get in there. I'm telling you.
In fact, when he first started, so the reason he got into the game industry was because he had earned the game rights to all these Japanese anime titles, and so game studios started calling him left and right because they wanted to make an Akira game, and so he ended up selling those rights to a company called THQ, and THQ was based in Chicago at the time, but ultimately ended up in LA, and they were like really bottom of the barrel publisher, floundering, not doing so great. They ended up fumbling the bag with the Akira license completely, and going into insolvency. And they called Mike up and said, "Hey, we need you to come on board. We need you to take over things and sort this out." And he became the executive vice president, second on the second in charge on the board. And they ended up turning the company around. And this is the best part. We announced Lucha Throwdown today. Right. So the way that they turned THQ around and how Mike's debut in the video game industry happened was they actually got the WCW wrestling license. Now, this is way back at the beginning of the PlayStation 1. 3D video games were just starting to debut. So it was an entirely new industry. And so Haller gets the WCW license, which at the time was like the top license you could get.
Okay. I'm going to interrupt Alex real quick because there's a pattern. There's a pattern going on here. These guys came in, back in the early 90s, whenever he said PlayStation 1. And, there was a company, there was a game, something that was made, and it was dead or dying. And they're in a new industry. And you're talking about someone coming in a new atmosphere and new environment, breathing life into something, and not just breathing life, but churning out results. And I think we mentioned in this interview coming up, but it's like, man, we're going through the same thing right now. We're going into the same arena right now. We're in a new arena, a new environment, a new atmosphere, and we acquired some companies and games that had great code, but we're missing some of the other pieces, and breathing life into it. And I mean, just no one's paying out $50,000, $200,000, $250,000 in prizes in games that are. I mean, it's hard to find unless you're AAA
for a video game. And but THQ had no money, so he went to his contacts in Japan and he found Virtual Pro Wrestling, which was a PlayStation game that a Japanese studio was trying to make and was kind of like didn't have any traction with the Japanese wrestlers. And he said, "Hey, let's make a deal. We're going to slap the heads onto your already finished game with Randy Macho Man Savage, Hulk Hogan, all these legends." And they did. They just literally took the heads off the Japanese heads off the characters,
genius,
stuck the thing and changed the shirt, and boom, they had the first WCW wrestling game.
I'm telling you, genius. So what he's saying, and you know what, if it's you guys are getting a behind the scenes conversation here on some of the history. We're learning history of who's behind Rainy Studios and what they've done. And what he's talking about is there was a Japanese wrestling game that was dead, and they needed a wrestling game for the USA, for the WCW, WWF, or WWE, whichever one he said. And I mean, it's the most brilliant solutions are sometimes just the most simple ones. Put Randy Macho Man Savage, boom, the game fucking blew up. Okay. All right. So this video is getting a little long, and I want to keep it in certain metrics. I'll post the full call with Alex Moody on my channel if you guys want to listen to it. But wrapping up here, guys, again, I don't get excited about many things, and when I do, it's a grand slam, and I am happy to be a token holder. You know, I wouldn't say I'm a consultant. These guys don't really need, but just if I know if there's something that I see, you know, at least I got a couple of the top dogs' ears, and I just, man, this game is the more I play it, the better it gets, the more excited I am. It's still early to get into RST. I'm gonna post those links in the description. Shout out to Icebags, to Alex Moody, to Mike Caller, and the game dev looking guy. I'm hella excited about this. I got a bunch of tokens. I'm buying more every month. Do your own research. Play the game. Play the game yourself. It's free on the Epic Games launcher. CryptoFace here. And I'm bullish as hell on Rainy Studios and the RST token.